downs. We always want to land with our feet right under our hips. Okay, so we're going to start in a tall position. Once you're ready and you're set up with your feet forward and hips square, right, you're going to come up onto your toes, reaching your hands overhead. Okay, coming down in an aggressive manner without moving your feet wider, you're going to snap down, leave the ground, and land in a quarter squat position. Okay, you want to see your hands back, knees behind the toes, weight through the whole foot, eyes are up, chest is up. Okay, you're going to work on holding this. Okay, for a 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, notice when I landed, okay, my knees didn't buckle in, I didn't get wide and throw my toes out. Wherever my feet started, that's where I landed. Strong, soft, with no extra movement involved, and I'm not riding down and coming up. Okay, so you want to stick right into that quarter squat position. Count for that 5 seconds and feel that strong position. Okay, taking our same principles, okay, of our landing mechanics that we just used with the double leg rip down, we're going to do our intro to vertical jump. Okay, so with our intro to vertical jump, we're now loading and landing in the same position. Coach Eli is going to start with his feet right under him, just like we did for the double leg rip down. He's going to start with his hands hanging down by his side. He's going to throw his hands up in the air to start. As he comes down, his arms will go back. He will load from his knees, pushing his butt back, and then he will proceed to jump and then land again. Okay, so if we put it all together, okay, go ahead and show him one vertical jump. Up, land, and stick. Okay, so we want to see Coach Eli have his hands back when he sticks, in case we're ready to rebound and go into another jump right after. So again, he's going to load up, load down, jump, stick, and hold that position, okay, feeling strong and feeling under control. Okay, so the faster your arms are able to move, the faster you're able to load, the more explosive you're going to be, the more energy coming out, okay, of loading down into that vertical jump. Reviewing technique again. Okay, we're going to hold all these movements that you see after your deceleration and your jump work. Okay, so we're going to start with that counterbalance squat again. Okay, we are just reinforcing technique, technique, technique. Okay, if you can't control yourself on a bodyweight squat, okay, you're not going to be able to control yourself with a barbell on your back. Okay, so we want to see those feet slightly outside the hips again, toes slightly pointed out. Okay, you're going to work pushing your knees out, butt back, chest stays up, working down to parallel, holding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, counting all the way up to 15 seconds, right? And then coming back up. And then you can take a 15-second break and go into your other 2 sets of that. Okay, just like we did through the warm-up, okay, with our split squat hold, we're going to do the same thing and hold for a little bit longer. So Coach Derek's going to put whatever leg forward he wants to start with first. So he's got his right leg forward, his left leg back. Again, he's going to initiate the movement by dropping that back knee down first, keeping that chest up. Notice the knee, okay? It shifts forward a little bit, but it still stays behind the front toe. Weight through the front heel, okay, putting all the stress into the hamstring and the glute, okay, of that front leg. 15, then he'll come up, switch legs after he's taken a 15-second break. Okay, now we're going to work isolateral lunge. Okay, iso just means holding, an isometric movement, just holding in the position. Okay, so Coach Derek's going to start with his hands out in front. Okay, let's have you work down to the right. As he's reaching back, that left leg stays straight. He's trying to get nice and low, reaching his hips back, just like a squat. Everything initiates. Hips back, hips back, hips back. So we're loading the hamstrings and glutes correctly. Right? That knee stays behind the toe. Once he's counted to 15, he's going to come up and he's going to work to the other side. Sheets on Monday, you squatted for 4 sets of 10. Okay, now we're going to do 4 sets of 5. Okay, so anytime you see those reps go down, okay, obviously the weight needs to increase. Okay, but make smart decisions, again, focusing on technique as you go through the squat with the dumbbell, kettlebell, body weight, or your weighted backpack. Okay, so again, just going over basic squat technique. Okay, Coach Derek's going to start with his heels slightly outside his hips, toes slightly pointed out. Okay, so if you just have a body weight, that's all you have access to. Coach Derek's going to do this a little bit slower. Okay, so you can do a little bit slower to tax your muscles a little bit more. Okay, so he's going to have his hands out in front. Okay, he's just going to work down, slow and controlled, pushing his knees out every time, reaching his hips back. Once he gets to parallel, he's coming up, and then he's going to go through another rep. Okay, notice if you only have body weight, you're doing 3 sets, okay, of 15. Let's go. Next movement is your overhead press. Okay? Big points of emphasis on the overhead press. Okay? You don't want to get too wide in your grip. Okay? Notice that Coach Eli's only grabbing right outside that smooth, right where that rough knarling meets on the bar. When Coach Eli goes to press, he's going to drive the bar straight up as he peeks his head through his arms. And he's going to control it back down. Okay? We don't want you peeking too far through looking at the ground. But we're trying to lock that shoulder blade, shoulder girdle, everything in place, okay, by ducking that head through slightly, locking those shoulders together. Barbell will be a barbell bent over row. If you have a dumbbell, it'll be a dumbbell bent over row. Weighted objects such as a backpack, or even a kettlebell if you have access to a kettlebell. Maybe even a band if you have access to a band that has enough tension. Okay, so we'll start with barbell bent over row. You're going to have a full thumb width grip from the smooth. You're going to pick the barbell up with a good deadlift, and you're going to hinge from the hips. We want to see you bent over, back flat over the ground. Biggest point of emphasis here is we are pulling to our belly button. We're not rowing straight up. We want to pull back to the belly button to involve more of the lat and get a good squeeze of the upper back. I'm slow, I'm controlled, I'm not waving up and down trying to use my whole body. I want to be slow, controlled, up and down. Okay, if you would like to weigh down a backpack, which most people have access to a backpack, put a bunch of books in there, okay, weigh it down, same thing like a barbell bent over row. We're going to hinge from the hips, and the hands hanging down, back is flat. You're just trying to pull and row in towards the belly button. Okay? If it's a little light, add more reps till you feel that good burn going through your low back, going through your upper back and your lats. Okay, another variation you can use is single arm, okay, dumbbell bent over row. Okay, Coach Derek's going to have a good stance. His feet are going to stay in line. You're not going to stagger your feet. Okay, so both heels are in line, back is flat, weight is hanging down. We don't want to see an arch in that low back. Okay, Coach Derek's just going to row the dumbbell, okay, to his belly button, squeezing that shoulder blade back, getting a good stretch of that lat on the way down. Good pull and squeeze of it on the way up. So you may also do single arm dumbbell bent over row. Movement, RDL, Romanian deadlift, and that's what that stands for. You want to start with your feet right under your hips and a slight bend in your knee, just like we worked on with the trunk flexion extension in the warm-up. Okay, so viewing me from the side, if I have dumbbells, I'm going to hang the dumbbells in front. I have a slight bend in my knee. I'm going to hold that bend, big chest, shoulders back. As I'm reaching my hips back, my knees continue to go back to get out of the way of the dumbbell. Once I feel a good stretch in my hamstring, I'm and coming back up. So again, notice I'm keeping the bend in my knee, but they're shifting back with my hips, creating a stretch through my hamstring. We do not want to see you trying to reach back and your knees staying where they are. You're going to put too much stress on your low back. So again, knees clear out of the way, keeping the bend of the knee, feeling the stretch in the hamstring, and coming back up. The band variation is going to target the low back a little bit more, which is okay. But if you have access to a good thick band, just hook it around your neck, put it around your feet. Okay, again, same thing. You want to see your feet right under your hips, slight bend in the knee, just working on reaching back, and that chest flat, eyes down, feeling that good stretch in your hamstring.
This is how an angel does.